Slap pals, what up? I used to skate more, checking in again. On another misty, damp morning from the North Coast, California. Now, mind you, I'm not complaining. A whole bunch of the places in the state are burning, and we're not, thank goodness. But I was gonna go outside this morning and do some things out there in the yard. Maybe go do a morning skate, and the ground's pretty darn wet. So I was like, what else can I do? Man, I did a bunch of other stuff at home, but I figured it was also a good time to throw together another video for y'all. So hopefully some of the stuff in that first video translated, and y'all can think more about how we stand. Yeah, so hopefully that worked. But I want to stick with the feet because it all starts with the feet. That's our feet, it's what grounds us to the earth. And not to sound all hippy dippy yoga man, whatever, but like it's true. The feet are what hold us to the earth, and they're the first point of contact with the earth, or our skateboards, or they do so much work, and they're in charge of the feet are in charge. The feet are like, their purpose is to help hold us upright, and if we're not taking care of them, which we're often not, like with all the crazy shoe designs out there, who the heck of us really knows a lot about our feet unless we put some work in and gain some education and experience? Like who knows all that much about like what we're putting on our feet, surrounding our feet with, how we're using our feet, because a lot of the stuff that we do as humans, like, although we eventually anatomically adapt as a species, like the body, for lack of a better expression, wasn't designed or programmed to like be pressing a gas pedal in a car all the time. It wasn't, that's a huge thing. Like people get sciatica from that. That has a lot to do with lordosis and sitting, but like that gas pedal thing, oh man, wearing shoes with like crazy arch support, or just shoes that like reshape how our foot is from being there for so long, like being confined in a shoe for so long is going to affect the plasticity of the fascia, and that eventually affects how your foot is, how it is shaped, and that eventually affects how we support ourselves, how the feet support the upright body. Not to mention, just like sore feet are kind of a bummer anyways. So with that, like, what can we do, right? The first video, I certainly focused on standing, and maybe that shouldn't have been the first video. But what I want to do today is show y'all like some quick things that you can do. Like they're pretty darn easy, in my opinion, and non-intrusive, not painful, and you don't need to be standing to do them. Part of them, it would benefit you to be standing, but just some exercises to do with the feet. It can help stretch your toes out and loosen up some musculature, some fascia, and just open up a whole new world through your feet. So the first one that I want to show you, it's the teacher I learned it from called it the yoga handshake. I don't know how I feel about that name, but that's what we're going with today. So, sit somewhere comfortably. You can be sitting in a chair, on the floor, whatever, wherever. And what you're going to want to do, the crux of this is we're going to lace our fingers between our toes and end up moving the foot around. I help y'all guide through this, and then we'll move on to the next piece. So, you know, I'm working with my right leg, so I'm going to take my right hand and I'm going to bring it under that right leg, right foot. I'm going to hold the foot, take my left hand, I'm going to lace those fingers. I'm going to interlock them between the toes. It's really kind of weird at first when you do it. Like you see I'm like making faces. I'm like, oh man, this is strange. And when I first started doing this, I like couldn't do it without it hurting, right? Because my toes were so close together. But right there, that's kind of the goal of where I want to be anyways. You get as far as you can. But from here, we're going to do is you're going to keep supporting that right leg, okay? And we're going to start to go back and forth, okay? Towards the knee, away from the knee. You're not pulling, you're kind of just guiding a little bit. And this can help open up ligaments, fascia that right here, you know, on this instep going up the ankle into the shin. Get there, go side to side. For me, this is the trickiest part on this right side, because I definitely had an issue with some ligaments right over here. I mean, still fairly swollen. They like go over the top right here. They're super noisy. So like coming in medially isn't a problem, but it like sticks when I go out laterally. And I'm just trying to loosen it up a little bit this morning. Shake it, shake it. Okay, let's make some circles. I got some popping and clicking going on. Now I'm going in the other direction. Just a little bit. I got a little bit more force going on in here. It's 'cause it feels good. It's your body. You know what feels good, what doesn't. Like, chances are you're not going to hurt yourself doing this. Back the other way. Back and forth. Let's crank on it just a little bit. And now I'm going to let it go. Wiggle my toes a little bit. And bring the foot down. Maybe it feels a little different. Maybe it doesn't. But it's worth trying, in my opinion. So I'm going to move on to the other side. Left side. Take that left arm. I'm going to bring it over the inside of the thigh, under the knee, around the shin. I'm going to hold that foot just like this. Okay? It's kind of weird, but get used to it. You can hold your foot. Just go like this. Allow your arm to hold it. Take that right hand. Begin to lace those fingers in. You can use that left hand to help you get the fingers in there if need be, if you want, if it's easier. Here we go. There's my toes, my fingers, and I'm going to go back and forth. Wake it up a little bit, you know? It's giving a little bit of love to these toes, the foot, the ankle. I mean, shoot, how many of us have like had ankle surgery, sprained our ankles, torn ligaments, whatever? Like, we gotta take care of these ankles. Give them a little bit of love, like, cause what we do, we skate or going side to side, laterally, immediately, like, we beat the crap out of them. So like, why not try to work this into our daily routine, right? Like, it ain't gonna hurt, you know? Okay, circles. Other way. That's it. It's not gonna hurt. Circles. rolling the ankle, slipping off your sled, like that stinks, especially the older we get, man. Like this last ankle injury I had, I was going to PT twice a week for 5 months. And, I've got this like yoga, restorative yoga body work, you know, anatomy, fascia awareness and education. And I applied that along with the PT. So I did pretty well over the course of 5 months. But 5 months for what they said was a rolled ankle. And at the end, the dude was like, "Yeah, you probably had some ligament damage in there. Ha 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 ha. But you're fine now." That's cool. But it's like, because I do this stuff. Let's bring that foot down. Without doing this stuff, like I really don't think I would be. I'm running again. I am skating at a higher level. Granted, I just started skating like again, like after a hiatus about, I don't know what, like 15, 16 months ago. But I'm skating at a higher level now, right? Like almost 6 months to the day, 7 months to the day after I thought I ruined my ankle, like for good, than I was when I was getting back into it in the past year, right? Like it's because I'm doing extra stuff to take care of it, along with the PT exercises. I can make videos of that stuff too, because I think it helps to have someone remind us and show us. But anyhow, so we did the yoga handshake, right? It's pretty cool. Maybe just like come back on your hands, begin to, flex those feet at the ankles, side to side, make some circles. This is kind of silly to watch. All right, cool. Got a little bit of movement and whatnot in there. So that's the yoga handshake, right? Right on. So somebody was talking about using tennis balls to massage their feet. Heard somebody once was like, "Oh yeah, you work out the crystals in your feet." Crystals in your feet. I don't really know what that is, but I do know that stuff gets really sticky down there, and the bottoms of the feet are hella sensitive. Especially for those of us that have experienced or are experiencing plantar fasciitis, other foot injuries. You touch the bottom of that foot, and it's like, whoa, dude, get away. And that ain't even like tickle get away. It's like, oh man, that hurts. Nothing's supposed to touch the bottom of my feet, but the more we work with the bottoms of the feet, even if we've had injuries down there, the less fearful we're going to be and sensitive to movement, like outside movement down there, someone touching it or something rubbing up against it, working the stuff out that's under there, the stickiness, if you will. And what I mean by stickiness is just like the muscles, the ligaments, the fascia, and fascia is this net, essentially. It's this like gelatinous net that holds everything under the skin together. It's pretty far out. I can explain that more at a later date. But when it doesn't get used, or it gets held into a place, held in a position for a long time, it gets kind of sticky. It's plastic, and the shape can mold and adjust and shift. So if it's not used, it's gonna get stuck. So we want to work out some of that stuck, and by releasing trigger points is one way to do that. We can find those. That'll be another video, finding trigger points with alpha balls and tune-up balls. But today we're just gonna get into the feet, and I use these things right here. I'm not affiliated with this company, the yoga tune-up balls, but they are awesome. They're, as you can see, they're a little smaller than a tennis ball. Um, they're rubber, and they got a little bit of give when you squeeze them, but not much. They're softer than a lacrosse ball, which has no give, but they're a little firmer than a tennis ball, which eventually like kind of flattens if you put enough pressure on. You can put as much pressure on these as you want, and it's not gonna flatten. After a while, like months of use, we use these daily in my house and kind of go through them a fair amount. But like they're not gonna flatten on you. They can really take the pressure that's necessary to work out the stuck. So we're gonna work with these on the bottom of the feet today. You can use them all over. You can just sit there and work out the muscles in your arms, your chest, anywhere. It's a lot less abrasive, perhaps even, I don't want to say invasive, but because it's not going inside of you, but they're a lot less abrasive and a lot less intense than a massage gun, and they're not gonna have the same effects, but they're like $10, $8, and they're, I don't know, they kind of do very similar things to a massage gun. You're using as the ball of your body and something to apply pressure to. So for the feet, right? Let's see. Can we see the feet back here? Let's move this cushion. All right. I'm going to put the ball down, and you use whatever you want. You got a lacrosse ball, you got a tennis ball. It's all good. Use what you can, but you can look these up and order them. You can really just get it under the foot and oh, there we go. Let's get over here, ball. Apply some pressure and move it around back and forth, make some circles. And that's kind of a cool way to get adjusted to it, to get used to what it feels like down there and whatnot. Do both feet. And for me, like, I'm not like feeling a whole lot of negative feeling or intense sensation down here because I do this often. But in my training for my advanced yoga certification, this was crazy. It was some of the first times I'd done this, and I was like, oh man, this hurts. How am I going to walk afterwards? But I got hooked after I did it. We spent a whole day working with these things, like legit, like 9 hours using these balls all over our bodies. I was like, wow, that's something I need to incorporate into my life. So we did that rolling around a little bit on both sides, right? And that's pretty cool. But we can also take like a more an approach that's more focused and concentrated on specific areas to just work out places that like are more commonly sore in people. Okay, so what we're gonna do now, in some places showing people the bottom of your foot is highly offensive. I hope that's not the case here. But what we're gonna do, right, is we're gonna imagine these lines, okay? And you got these tendons coming down from each toe, connecting at the back of the heel. They eventually go up, Achilles, calf, connect at your knees, so on and so forth. Super, super important to work with this stuff. So we're gonna imagine there's a line. My teacher that I trained with called them bowling lanes. Okay, because we're gonna roll the ball up and down the lanes from each toe to the back of the heel, back and forth. Okay, we're gonna do each one of those a couple of times, and you're gonna just apply as much pressure as you can stand. Okay, and know that you're not gonna hurt yourself doing this. Probably, I mean, maybe you've got something going on that I don't know about, but like, the cool thing about using your body weight in these balls is you decide how much pressure gets applied. All right, that's one lane going down and back up. Third lane, that third toe down and back up. And really, if you want to, you can flex your toes up and you'll see the anatomy of your foot. And you can kind of line up the ball with where you're seeing those bones and tendons in the top of your foot. Okay, so now we're going to go back across. I can feel some crackling down there. There we go. Oh yeah, this feels good this morning. I have a brand new set of balls right here too. These tune-up balls. So they're a little more firm than the ones I'm using most days. So let's go over to that other foot. In how you're standing, like when you're balancing and whatnot, like don't worry about it. Allow your foot to turn out and stuff. Just kind of be comfortable so you can keep your balance. So I'm going to start up here right under that big toe mound. Roll my way back and forth. Flexing my toes upward so I can see the anatomy of the foot and have a visual idea of where to roll the ball. I mean, you might not need that visual idea because you can feel it, right? We get that proprioception. We're able to feel where we are. Oh yeah. These are cool because like say you work somewhere and you sit at the desk, you can throw this under your desk. You're sitting at the table, in university, whatever you're doing, sitting somewhere, you can just work your feet out, and like it kind of stinks at first. It doesn't feel great, but eventually it's going to be like, my feet are at home. Nice. Cool. So I did that. I definitely have some sensation in the bottom of my feet, so I'm just walking them out a little bit, wiggling the toes, so on and so forth. So the next thing that we can do with one of these tune-up balls, and and this is where like I feel like these are more ideal than I find these are more ideal than a tennis ball or a lacrosse ball to give, because we're going to apply a lot of body weight pressure onto the tune-up ball at this point. Okay, and we're just going to focus on two areas. We're going to be up near the top of the front of the foot by the toes, and then we're going to apply some pressure down by the heel. Okay, so got the tune-up ball there, right foot, and what I'm going to do is, I'm going to stand on the ball right in this area, and I'm just going to drop off as much weight as I can stand to do without being in excruciating pain today, and kind of rock from side to side a little bit. Yeah, right there. Yep. Whew. Oh boy. You think this area is really kind of what's hitting the ground when we're pushing. This is when we're popping. Oh yeah. All right, so I did that front. Now I'm gonna go back this area, not like on the far end of the heel where the Achilles starts, but a little further forward. Just gonna move around back there. All right, so this one, let's see. So it's actually gonna be, see right there? That's about where I'm applying the pressure, okay? And I'm just gonna, like, it's not right into your arch, it's kind of right towards that tail end of the arch. And you can press your toe area into the floor and then allow the heel to drop. I've got my left foot off the ground, and I'm just dropping as much weight as possible into this. That's what feels good for me right now. It might not feel good for you. A little bit of rolling. All right. Walk that out. Cool. Let's go to that other side. And you don't have to do this on both sides. Like if you've got one area that's problematic or bothering you, you can really just focus on that side, or like one area where it's too sensitive to do and you just want to work on the other side. That's totally cool. I just generally try to do both sides, so each side is equally as strong and stretched, if that makes sense. Okay, so last one here. I got an itch on the bottom of the foot. Scratch that out. Again, right in here. Okay, I'll go this way. Okay, there we go. Dropping the weight. Okay, so earlier I talked about plugging that the femur into the hip area. That's kind of what I'm doing right here. I'm dropping my hip down, so all that weight is distributing through the leg into the foot. All right. Side to side a little bit. The more mobility we have, this increased mobility in the foot, the better our skating will get. Here's the flicking foot, right? For me anyways, regular foot skater. Going to the back, towards the heel. And I'm just dropping the weight. Oh man, this is intense today. Definitely not used to using brand new alpha balls. Not alpha balls, tune-up balls. Alpha balls are the bigger ones. But working that out, and that's that. Right on. Cool. So, my friends, maybe that was helpful. I hope it was. You don't need to use the tune-up balls, but these things are totally worth it. And again, I'm not affiliated with the people. What's it called? Tune Up Fitness. They've got a website. tuneupfitness.com. Order the balls there if you want. But they're off the hook. I really don't know what else to say. They're worth checking out. So it's the last I'm gonna plug for that. But as you can see, like there's numerous things we can do for the health of our feet that just take a few minutes. And obviously, like this video is going on 30 minutes, right? But like it's because I'm rambling on. You can kind of get this stuff down and do it at home over just the course of a few minutes. You could do all of this on both sides in 10 or 15 minutes. Maybe a little longer than that would be better, but whatever works for you, I just wish you all some happy feet, and may we all be able to skate long and whatnot. One of my homies, this dude who I looked up to a wicked lot when I was a kid, when I was growing up. And how old is the Greek? He's I don't know, he's got to be going towards his 50 now or something. I don't even know, man. But anyhow, when I started skating again, I was like, yo, man, I'm skating again, da 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 da. And he's like, oh, I haven't skated in a while, but I'm trying to get back into it. And he says, man, he goes, get some, because skateboarding is the fountain of youth. And man, this new incarnation of my skate life, I totally get it. And that's how I look at it. So we got to take care of the feet so we can soak them in that skateboarding fountain of youth. All right, pals. I hope y'all have super dope days, and do what you do. Peace.